Ever find yourself wondering, can exes really be friends? Especially, when you're starting a new relationship. It's like this question everyone's got an opinion on.
Oh, it's a big one.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating how people tend to, like, pick sides.
Yeah.
They're all about that post-breakup friendship, or they're running for the hills.
Right. Like, is it even possible to still friends with an ex, or is it just asking for trouble? That's what we're diving into today. We've got expert opinions, stories from actual couples who've been there, the whole shebang.
The whole shebang. Love it. And the thing is, there's no magic formula here.
Yeah.
Every situation, every relationship, it's got its own unique DNA.
Mm.
So how do we even begin to unpack this?
Well, I think a good starting point is to look at those arguments, right? Like, why do some people think staying connected to an ex is totally doable?
It often comes down to how we view relationships in general.
Mm-hmm.
Are they like chapters in a book, each one neatly contained and complete? Or are they more like threads in a tapestry? All these different colors and textures weaving in and out, creating something more intricate.
Ooh, I like that, the tapestry. Because you're right, those shared experiences, the good, the bad, the ugly, they become part of your story, don't they?
Exactly. And that's a big part of why some people advocate for staying friends with exes. It's not about like backtracking or trying to rekindle the romance. It's about acknowledging that this person, this relationship, it shaped you.
It's like they've seen you at your most authentic flaws and all, and there's a certain comfort in that, right? Like that friend you can call after a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day.
Totally. And there's even research suggesting that exes can be a unique source of support, especially during those career ups and
Oh,
downs.
that's interesting.
Makes sense though, right? They've often witnessed your professional journey firsthand. Your new partner, they might be amazing, super supportive, but they don't have that same context.
They weren't there for those moments, those milestones.
Exactly. But, and this is a big but, there's the other side of the coin. A lot of people believe it's just too messy, too complicated to mix exes with new relationships.
And honestly, they raise some valid concerns.
Absolutely. And one of the biggest ones is jealousy.
Even the most secure person, I think, can feel a twinge of like, wait, what? When their partner is still close with someone who used to be a significant part of their life.
It's a natural human reaction. You're building something new, this foundation of trust and intimacy, and then there's this presence from the past.
And it's not always about jealousy either. Sometimes it's about those lingering feelings, right? Those unresolved emotions that can resurface and stir up trouble.
Lingering feelings. Loaded term, isn't it? Could be nostalgia for the good old days. Could be unresolved conflicts that were never fully addressed.
Either way, not exactly a recipe for smooth sailing in a new relationship. It's like you're trying to start a new chapter, but there's this echo of the previous one hanging in the air.
And that, my friend, brings us to the heart of the matter. Boundaries.
Boundaries. The golden word, or maybe the line in the sand, when it comes to navigating exes and new relationships.
Right. What's okay, what's not okay, and what happens if someone crosses that line. Because let's be real, even with the best intentions, those lines can get blurry.
Yeah.
And that's where those real-life stories become so fascinating, don't they? They show us how all this actually plays out.
Yeah, because it's one thing to talk about boundaries and open communication in theory, but in real life, with real people and real feelings,
It's messy.
it gets messy. So remember those couples we mentioned, couple A and couple B. Their stories are like perfect examples of this whole ex-friend dynamic.
Oh, totally. Couple A, they were the success story, right?
Right.
Navigating that ex-friend situation from the very beginning.
Yeah, so one of them was already close friends with their ex when they started dating.
Ooh, tricky.
Talk about a potential minefield. But you know what? They didn't shy away from it. They had this really honest conversation right up front about their fears, their expectations.
Which, let's be honest, can be terrifying.
Oh, totally. But the partner with the ex was like, look, this is the deal. That chapter is closed. I value this friendship, but I also value you and what we're building.
So important. It wasn't about dismissing those feelings of jealousy, but about acknowledging them, validating them.
Exactly. And that made all the difference. They said that being upfront actually strengthened their bond early on.
Mhm.
They've been together for years, ex-friends still in the picture, but those boundaries, airtight.
Proof that with open communication, a little compromise, it can work.
It can, but then there's couple B.
Couple B.
Not exactly fairy tale ending there. They were both friends with their respective exes when they met.
Oh, wow. Double the fun
Yeah.
or double the trouble.
Right. And their approach was basically like, we're all super mature and evolved, no big deal. They even did group hangouts with the exes at
Oh,
first.
no.
And no.
What could go wrong?
Right. Because here's the thing. Even if you're coming from a good place, those unspoken expectations, those unresolved emotions,
Mm,
they have a way of creeping in.
they always do.
Mhm.
So what happened? Did those unresolved emotions rear their ugly heads?
They did. Turns out one of the exes still had some, shall we say, not so platonic feelings.
Oh, boy. Recipe for disaster.
And it went downhill from there. Jealousy, arguments, mistrust.
Yeah.
It really took a toll on the relationship.
Heartbreaking. It really highlights how, even if you have the best intentions, sometimes it's just too complicated.
Yeah. They tried to salvage things, had those tough conversations, but the damage was done. They ended up breaking up.
It's like sometimes no matter how badly you want something to work.
It's just not meant to be.
Yeah,
And, as hard as it is to hear, sometimes letting go is the healthiest choice.
it's true. Staying attached to something that's no longer serving you, that's causing more pain than joy, that's not fair to anyone.
And it's not about choosing a new relationship over an old friend. It's about choosing yourself, choosing what's best for your emotional well-being. So we've got couple A making it work, and couple B, well, not so much. But both stories really highlight how crucial those clear, honest conversations are right from the start. It's like you need a how-to guide for these conversations, like Exes and New Relationships 101. Where do you even start?
Right. It can feel daunting.
Yeah.
But honestly, it boils down to being direct, upfront. If you're serious about making this work, the first step is talking to your partner. And I mean really talking.
Not just like, oh, hey, by the way, I'm still friends with my ex.
Exactly. That's not going to cut it. It's about creating a safe space for both of you to be open about your feelings, your concerns, even if they seem a little irrational.
Okay, so how do you even bring it up without sounding like you're either hiding something or asking for permission?
It's all about the approach. Instead of making it a yes or no question, try framing it as a collaborative thing. Like, hey, I know navigating these situations can be tricky, and I really value what we're building here. I also care about this friendship. How do we make sure everyone's comfortable and those boundaries are clear?
So it's more of a we're in this together kind of vibe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're acknowledging their feelings, you're inviting them into the conversation, you're making it clear that their perspective matters.
In these conversations, they're not just a one-time thing.
Oh, absolutely not. Relationships, they're constantly evolving.
Yeah.
What felt okay a few months ago might not feel okay now, and that's totally normal.
So it's about checking in, making sure everyone's still on the same page. But what about those times when, despite your best efforts, it's just not working? Like, how do you know when it's time to walk away from that ex-friendship, even if it was once really important to you?
That's where that self-awareness comes in. Are you constantly tiptoeing around your partner, hiding things about the friendship? Are you choosing your ex's needs over your partner's?
Oof, yeah, those are definitely red flags.
They are. And as hard as it is to admit, sometimes holding on to that past relationship, it's actually preventing you from being fully present in your current one.
It's like you're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. It just doesn't work.
And you deserve more than that. You deserve a relationship that's built on a solid foundation, not on insecurities or resentments.
So sometimes letting go is the bravest, most loving thing you can do, not just for your relationship, but for yourself.
100%. It's about choosing peace over drama, joy over stress. And it's not a failure. It takes a lot of strength and self-awareness to recognize when something's no longer serving you and to make that tough choice.
It's like Marie Kondoing your relationships. If it's not sparking joy, if it's bringing more negativity than positivity into your life, it might be time to say goodbye.
And hello to a happier, healthier you.
Love it. So if you're wrestling with this whole exes as friends thing, remember, open communication, clear boundaries, and a good dose of self-awareness are your best tools. It's a journey, but you've got this.
You do. And remember, at the end of the day, the most important relationship you'll ever have is the one with yourself.
And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder your own ex-friend scenarios. Is it a yay or a nay? Every situation's different, and the right answer for someone else might not be the right one for you.
Trust your gut.
Exactly. And until next time, happy adventuring.